Today we're going to be showing you how to install a Quantum 4-in-1 with an optional chiller unit. But before we do that, let me show you how the system works. So on the right hand valve you've got domestic hot, like so. That's running from your cylinder or boiler stored water. That's domestic regular cold. And then over to the other valve, press the safety button, rotate away from you, like so, and that is delivering you, at the moment, 98-degree water for the perfect tea or coffee. And then press the safety button, rotate towards you, and that is delivering filtered, chilled water down at 4 degrees. Delicious. When you receive your delivery, you'll have a tap complete with all the fittings that you need. You'll receive a double filter with an antibacterial and anti-scale filter, the chiller unit and the boiler tank. Okay, the first stage is to install the tap. So essentially we're going to thread these one by one through the tap hole in the sink. When the tails are underneath the sink, we will in first place put the rubber washer in place, followed by the steel washer, so they will ride up to here, and then final bit to tighten the tap under the sink will be the half horseshoe, goes on like so and threads on to the base of the tap, and you tighten it up so it bites onto the underside of the sink, and then tighten the screws finally, which will give you a perfect fixing. Okay, to get the hoses through the 35mm hole, always start with the largest hose first, which in this case is on the red hose. You then follow it one by one, any order, with all of the hoses with nuts. The final hose having a spigot end. And there we go. Once that's in place there, we'll go under the sink and we'll apply the two washers and the horseshoe to tighten the tap in place. Okay, so first job to do, the brass T-fitting that comes in the tap box, screw that onto the top of the domestic cold feed, which you should have an isolation valve like this one. Once that's firmly screwed into place, take hose number 1 with the blue fleck, and what we're trying to do is we are just attaching that to the top of that fitting, like that, hand tighten it, and then when you've got it as tight as you can do, just a quick quarter turn with a spanner to make sure you get a seal. Then we move on to hose number 2, red fleck in it, slightly larger nut. That exactly the same process. It goes on to the domestic hot feed isolation valve, and again we're just screwing it on like that. Once it's in place, just tighten it up with a spanner to make sure you've got a perfect seal. Okay, the next stage is to take the loose hose number 7 from the tap box, and we're going to literally attach the nut to the brass T-piece that we installed at the beginning, just like so. Again, hand tighten and then a quarter turn with a spanner. Next step is to install the filters. So quarter turn and unscrew the left hand anti-scale, unscrew the cylinder, the grey filter, screw it back into place like so, put it, quarter turn it back in, and then you do exactly the same with the blue. Make sure that the O-ring stays in place when you're doing this, very important. Into place like that. Then we remove the 2 blue fittings like that, and then you take hose 7 that you've just installed, Okay, you can't remove it like that, you can see. Once it's fully in place, pop the blue clip on that side back in place. Next stage is taking from the tap box the larger of the two white pipes. We've removed the blue clip from the outlet of the filter. We're going to insert and push into place the white pipe. Once it's in place, the blue clip goes in like so, and then the white T that is in the tap box, again remove the blue fitting, and the PE pipe pushes in like that. Again, it's a good fixing. The blue safety clip goes in place like so. Next stage, on the T, the smaller part, remove the blue clip, and then the smaller piece of plastic pipe, just cut it in half, like so. Okay. Take half, plug it in to the fitting, and again, it's got a good connection. Blue safety clip in, and then on this is the back of the chiller unit. Press the little grey retaining piece in, pull the plug out, and plug effectively the cold water inlet into the back of the chiller. The next stage is to take the threaded fitting that was in the tap box, hose number 4, screw it into the end of 4, like so, tighten it up like that, remove the blue fitting, remaining piece of white pipe into the end, make sure it's secure, blue clip back in place, and then what we're going to do is in the cold water outlet, we're going to plug a hose in there like so. Next stage is the remaining outlet on the T. Remove the blue clip, take hose number 3 and plug hose 3 into the T fitting, and when it's in place, put the blue clip securely in place. Okay, now we've got the boiling tank in place. We take hose 5, hand tighten it onto the blue, and then take hose 6, putting the little clear washer that's attached to it in place, and that goes on to the red cap. And again, as with all fixings, just when you've made the connection, just give it a quarter turn with a spanner to make sure it's secure. Before fitting either of the power cables, we're going to turn the water on and we're going to do a water test. So effectively, slotted screwdriver into your isolation valves on both the cold and the hot. Quarter turn, and then do a visual check for any leaks on any joints or pipes you've put in. Okay, before plugging either power cable in to the chiller or the tank, we have to fill the boiling tank with water first. And you do that, press the safety button, rotate the boiling valve away from you, and you will hear the water filling the tank. When the tank is full, you should see water come out the spout. At that point, you can release the valve and we can put the electrical connections in place. Normally takes just over a minute to fill the tank. We can now plug and power up both chiller and tank. On the boiler unit, you'll see the flashing white power light. Just press gently for a second or so, bring the LED into play. You can then adjust the temperature of the boiler up in 5-degree intervals to 90, and then in single degree increments up to a maximum of 98 degrees. And really it's down to the individual. Set the tank to whatever temperature works for you the best. And on the chiller, similar principle. Press the power button, and again, you know, we've got the temperature set down at the moment at 7 degrees. The 19 shows the temperature of the water actually in the tank at the moment. Okay, and you can adjust it up to 19 and down as low as 4 degrees. On the chiller, you can see on the screen there, set temperature is 4 degrees. Current temperature is showing 17, and you can see you've got the flashing little frost mark and the rotation there. That shows you that the system is actually chilling the water right this moment. On the boiling tank, again, we've set the temperature. You can see here we've got it set to, we'll set it to 95 degrees. You can go higher or lower, and again it shows you the pulsing bar line and the little red heating icon there. That tells you that it's going through a heating process. When it reaches the temperature you've set, this will stop pulsing and the heating light will go off.